Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, we're going to continue on in our Esther series. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video, but whatever title I come up with is going to be good. It's going to bless you, okay? But last night, I opened up the book of Esther and, I just started reading again. I like to master, certain books of the Bible, right? Just master the story, get all the revelation I can get out of it, right? And so this is why I found myself back in the book of Esther. And I couldn't help but notice, I have the NIV version of the Bible, but I couldn't help but notice in Esther chapter 1, it gives the title, Queen Vashti Deposed, right? You see it right here? See that? And so I began to hear the Lord speak, right? So I was like, I get excited. It don't take much. So I looked up the definition for depose, and it means remove from office suddenly and forcefully, right? Synonyms are remove, get rid of, show someone the door, overturn. And so I began to hear the Lord speak to me, okay, for my God-ordained spouses who are standing for this God-ordained love story. If your God-ordained prodigal spouse, are still connected to these counterfeits, and let's say the counterfeit is trying to sit in your seat, I need you to get excited because we are in a season, okay? God is removing every counterfeit that has tried to take your seat, okay? We are in a season where a removal is taking place. Your God-ordained spouse is getting rid of every person that tried to sit in your seat, okay? They are being shown the door, okay? God is overturning things in this season, so I need you to get excited. And so I couldn't help but, like I said, notice that it just started off with that title. And here's why Queen Vashti, was removed as queen, because she refused to obey the commands of the king. She was very disrespectful. Okay, she came across as disrespectful to the king, right? And she did this in front of everyone. You got to begin to understand, okay? Whenever you're dealing with a man, whether he's your husband, it could be your friend, your dad, your brother, your cousin, okay? Understand, a man, his language, you have to communicate the language of respect when you're interacting with a man, right? You can't be all disrespectful and thinking you're going to stay in a position as queen. No, okay? And so this is why she was removed, because she was disrespectful and she disrespected him, the king, in front of everyone, okay? And she moved him into anger, right? And she also was a bad example for other women, right? And they, they had a fear that if the other women decided to follow in Queen Vashti's footsteps, there would be no end of disrespect and discord, right? And so this is why she was removed. And Esther was made queen because she was the one who pleased the king. She was the one the king was attracted to over all the other ones who were, lining up trying to get his attention. And she was the one who won the favor of the king, right? And then it was just really Esther's time, okay? This was her appointed time to be queen, for such a time as this, right? And so this was just so good. And so it's something else I want to point out. So let's talk about why Esther was made queen, okay? Because the devil, he tries to alter chosen one's destiny, okay? He would try to stop the chosen one's destiny, right? And I believe this is what he was up to. And I also believe this is why Queen Esther was made queen suddenly, okay? It was like within chapter 2, she was made queen, okay? Chapter 1, we read about Queen Vashti being removed out of that position. In chapter 2, there we go. He crowned her queen, okay? But Esther was made queen for 3 reasons. Number 1, to save the king's life, because he wasn't aware. He wasn't aware that the people he called friend, the people who he put in position, around him, he wasn't even aware that they were plotting to assassinate him, right? So it wasn't until Mordecai, he was sitting at the gate and overheard the plot of them trying to assassinate the king. And so Mordecai told Esther. Esther told the king, also giving credit to Mordecai, right? And so number one, she was put in that place as queen to help save the king's life. Now, because if Esther would have never rose up as queen, right? Who's to say, right? Because even if Mordecai would have overheard this and he would have went back and told, let's say it was a different queen at that time, who's to say the king would have believed the reports that was coming out of Mordecai's mouth, right? And if he wouldn't have believed it, then he would have been assassinated, right? And we would read a whole different story. It would be no story of Esther, right? So the devil would try to alter destiny, right? And as you continue to read the book of Esther, right, because we read how Haman hated Mordecai and he allowed the devil to work through him. He was trying to take out all the Jews, but really he was after Queen Esther. He just didn't know that she was a Jew, right? And so if it wasn't for Queen Esther being in her position, right, married to the king, right, the king who she just saved, right, so she was able to go to that king and, begin to expose all of the enemies that were surrounded, around the king. And that's how you know when the chosen one has stepped on the scene. Chosen ones have eyes to see the hidden enemies that are around the king, okay? Chosen ones are the ones who speak up. They expose these things. The devil hates prophet because the devil know we as prophets can see the works of the enemy from a mile away, and he already know we coming. He already know we coming with that strong rebuke. We're going to expose you, okay? And we're going to defeat that enemy, right? In the name of Jesus. So Esther was made queen, like I said, to save the king's life. Number two, to reveal hidden enemies that were close to the king, who had wrong heart and a wrong motive. So again, Haman, he kept on approaching the king. Well, this is in your best interest. You shouldn't tolerate this group of people, when really he was the one who had hate in his heart, right? And he was approaching the king in deceitful ways, right? Trying to get the king to turn against this same group of people he didn't like, okay? So this is why Queen Esther was made queen during this time. And number three, to deliver her people out of the hands of the enemy, okay? So understand and know that the devil will try to alter the chosen one's destiny. They would try to, do things such as witchcraft and, and just try to, mess with your destiny or whatever. But if you are a chosen one watching this and you are up under heavy spiritual warfare attack, I want you to pray. Get in the habit of praying every single day. And I want you to specifically pray and ask God to spiritually blind and spiritually deaf every witch and warlock that is trying to look into your destiny, that is trying to hear into your destiny and trying to alter your destiny. Rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ, okay? Because we have that going on out here in this world, all right? So that is it. I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you all real soon. Take care.